little bit more combative than other Democratic debates. I would say Bernie Sanders, of the three, was a little bit more aggressive than a few debates ago.
We need a 50-state strategy so that people in South Carolina and Mississippi can get the resources that they need, instead of being dependent on super PACs.
In particular, he went after Hillary Clinton on her ties to Wall Street. One particular line was pointing out that she's given paid speeches in front of Goldman Sachs, which seemed to get a response from the audience.
The leader of Goldman Sachs is a billionaire who comes to Congress and tells us we should cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. You've received over $600,000 in speaking fees from Goldman Sachs in 1 year.
One notable note was actually for who disappeared. Governor Martin O'Malley, who's very low in the polls, was pretty much shafted by moderator Lester Holt.
Time, we're going to get into all that coming up, but we're going to take a break. We need to take a break, and when we come back, the anger brewing in America. Secretary Clinton, I cut you off. I'll give you 30 seconds to respond on the issue of lone wolves.
Can I get 30 seconds too?
Let's do it.
Kind of emblematic of his actual campaign. Tough spot for him. Secretary Clinton stayed on her usual messages that she is going to fight to close the income gap for women, that she is going to fight for the middle class.
I would work quickly to present to the Congress my plans for creating more good jobs in manufacturing, infrastructure, clean and renewable energy, raising the minimum wage, and guaranteeing, finally, equal pay for women's work.
When attacked by Senator Sanders, she pivoted like she normally does, trying to move towards the general election, specifically talking about we might have some disagreements on Wall Street, but we're all so much better than our Republican foes. She tends to do that a lot when getting attacked. Secretary Clinton also, I would say, did a huge hug around President Obama. She was attacked several times, whether it was by Governor O'Malley or Senator Sanders, and pivoted to praising President Obama. In terms of Senator Sanders, it was almost in a way to suggest that Senator Sanders was criticizing President Obama, specifically on the Dodd-Frank financial regulation bill, as well as Obamacare.
President Obama's work to push through the Dodd-Frank bill and then to sign it was one of the most important regulatory schemes we've had since the 1930s. So I'm going to defend Dodd-Frank, and I'm going to defend President Obama for taking on Wall Street, taking on the financial industry, and getting results.
Clinton was making it seem like Bernie's been tough on President Obama. One notable exchange was over Senator Sanders' release of his single-payer plan, which his campaign revealed 2 hours before the debate, kind of to throw Secretary Clinton off a little bit. It seemed to work.
We have the Affordable Care Act. That is one of the greatest accomplishments of President Obama. Now, there are things we can do to improve it, but to tear it up and start over again, pushing our country back into that kind of a contentious debate, I think is the wrong direction.
We're not going to tear up the Affordable Care Act. I helped write it. But we are going to move on top of that to a Medicare for all.
I would say if there was a winner, quote unquote, by default, Hillary Clinton, because there really wasn't that breakthrough moment from Senator Sanders. In terms of the event itself, we spoke with a lot of people before the debate. And again, it was your usual Democratic debate. A lot of Clinton supporters on one side of the street, a lot of Sanders supporters. I saw a lot more young people for Bernie Sanders, a lot more elderly or middle-aged people for Secretary Clinton on one side of the street. Did not see anyone for Martin O'Malley, so go figure. Actually, one of the combative moments we had was across the street. There was people holding up signs, Benghazi Lives Matter Too. Obviously not fans of Hillary Clinton. We actually were a little aggressive with that group because they were holding up these signs with quotes around Lives Matter, kind of a knock on the Black Lives Matter movement, but they were actually standing only a block or two away from Mother of Emmanuel Church, which of course was the site of the Charleston church massacre in June of last year that killed 9. So we pressed them on that. They basically said, oh, we didn't plan it to be in front of the church. Nothing to do with the church. We feel that was a horrible, horrible event, but then pivoted to Benghazi. So stay tuned for that. With Senator Sanders support, the same consistent message. Enough is enough. The greed has gone too far.
It is very clear to me what you have to do. You got to bring back a 21st century Glass-Steagall legislation, and you got to break up these huge financial institutions. They have too much economic power, and they have too much financial power over our entire economy.
All in all, same script. Hillary supporters think she has the most experience. Senator Sanders supporters think he has the right message at the right time. Jordan with TYT.